So it's time to saute the Brussels sprout side dish. Here again we have the full half Brussels sprouts. There are some leeks in there that we'll add in. Got a pan going on heat. Just going to put a little bit of olive oil in the pan. And then the idea is to place these flat side down in the pan. So that you get the full flat side contact with the heated surface. And you see we're arranging them so we can get maximum amount in there. I'm going to hold off putting as much of the leek in there as I can until right at the end, because those are going to cook pretty quickly. You can hear they are starting to sizzle just a little bit, which is good. Alright, those are looking really nice. Alright, so we got all of our Brussels in. The rest of this is just going to be to add later. You can hear the sizzle. I'm going to add just a little more. Whenever we add oil to anything, don't do it over the top, do it around the outside, and it will pull it in underneath, and that way you don't get soggy oil soak. Now with olive oil in some of these saute salads, you may want to drizzle it because olive oil tastes wonderful. Drizzle a little bit at the end. You can kind of tell just by the look of it whether or not it has the right moisture that you want, but a drizzle of olive oil at the end can work quite nicely. I am going to let these get pretty close to done before I add our seasoning, and again it's just black pepper, we have garlic, and then we're going to steam it at the end with white wine. This is just the wine that we use here, a house wine at the diner. So I can smell that those are starting to cook. Take a look, they're starting to brown a little bit, and we're looking for not a dark burnt, but we want a really nice brown. You see the center of that? That's what we're going for. I see it's a little dry, so I am going to add just a little more olive oil around the outside. And you can hear a little bit of an angry sizzle there. We just want a happy, aggressive, but happy melodic sizzle. So we're going to turn it down a little bit because angry food burns when you hear that. Now I'm moving them around just to make sure they're not sticking. You can see here we're using a non-stick pan. I think it might work a little bit better for this. But if you have stainless or if you're using good aluminum pans, that will work also. You just got to pay a little more attention to it to make sure that they're not going to stick and burn. Going to double check and see how we're doing here. Starting to, and I can tell that they're starting to cook a little bit. You can tell the color is changing a little bit. They're turning a little bit green. So I'm going to put a cover on this to keep the moisture in. It's probably going to be about 60 seconds, and then we'll come back to them and finish them off. Let's see how we're doing. So you can see we're getting a really bright, vibrant green. That means these are cooking. I'm going to use tongs now because these are getting very hot, but you can see we've got a really nice browning to it. That tells me that it's time for me to, first of all, I'm going to turn off the flame because I'm going to add some wine. And I don't want to flame this. I just want it to, I'm going to put in wine and cover it. And the whole idea here is twofold. You can see a little flame there. We're steaming it because the outside of the Brussels sprout is going to finish first. This steam now is going to get up into the leaves since they're positioned down. The steam's getting up into the Brussels sprout and finishing off the center of the Brussels sprout. So you have something that isn't woody inside and overdone outside. And you can hear the sound that it's still a heavy-duty steam going on in there. I'm going to wait for that to settle down. Then I'm going to take the cover off. I'm going to add salt and garlic, and I'm going to flip them over and finish it and let the residue burn off and the alcohol burn off. And that will make a nice, almost a little caramelization on the Brussels sprouts, and then they'll be ready to eat. Let's pull the cover and see what we got here. All right. Good timing. You can see there's still a little bit. You see how vibrant green they are now? Going to add a little black pepper. Delta Diner's two favorite seasonings, and garlic. Now if you like other flavors that go with the Brussels sprouts, put them in now. we're just going to start moving them. That right there is a perfectly browned, and you can see they're jumping a little bit now. When they're jumping, that means that they're happy Brussels sprouts. And that's how they will look on the side. Just going to clean that up a little bit. That's a very, very appealing, attractive dish to set next to whatever main course you want to do.